The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking a on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome back to another episode of the Shit Podcast. I have my friend here, Eduardo Espinosa, Lolo. Welcome back, bro.
What's up?
What's up, man? It's been a while, like a week.
Yeah, I stayed.
You stayed. Hey, that's it. I mean, right now, during the pandemic, especially, we're limited on the number of guests we could have. But even that being said, I enjoy having you guys on the show. So let's, it's pretty much a couple dudes drinking beer. Or in this case, I'm having coffee today. So if you're a coffee drinker.
Well, this one has coffee in it.
That's a coffee beer. Yeah.
It's a stout with coffee and pumpkin.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
It's October. It's coming up. We're in October already, dude. It's incredible. This year just went by fast.
What year?
And slow. I think we should redo this year, and it's like it shouldn't count. Like your birthday this year would be the same birthday. Repeat.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just
let's scratch it.
Let's purge it off the record.
Actually, it hasn't been a bad year in many respects. I mean, there's been a lot of bad things happen, but I mean, my podcast was born this year, so I can't complain.
True.
I got to spend time with my kids, in ways that I never got to spend time with my kids before. We're always.
It's almost like it wasn't court mandated.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was like,
but almost.
It was the first break I ever took from stand-up comedy since I started. You know?
And it wasn't voluntary either.
It wasn't voluntary. I know, but after the break, it was like, this ain't that bad. Now I miss the stage. I miss the writing jokes, and right now I feel like, oh man, I'm so rusty. but it was kind of a nice break. That's not to disrespect anybody who got COVID or may have had a loved one pass away from COVID. We're sorry for that. I mean, this is the worst possible thing. I did lose some friends this year, so it's been a rough year. But not all bad. You got to look at the bright side and stuff too,
All right.
But with that being said, this episode of This Shit is we're going to talk about the Trent Park house. Okay. Now that you're like, well, there's a lot of houses in England. This is one of them. This was like a royal house. And let me just read a little bit about it. Trent Park is an English country house together with its former extensive grounds. It's in northern London. The original Great House and a number of statues. It was the original Great House and a number of statues and other structures located within the grounds, such as the Orangery, are Grade 2 listed buildings. Whatever that means. I mean, for people in London, they're like, oh, it's a Grade 2, But I guess there's like the first grade. I don't know. I'm making this shit up. But level 1. This is a level 2 house.
Yeah,
that's what I get from this. But it's in the Register of Parks and Gardens and the Special Historic Interest in England.
All right, so probably it sounds like there's like a hierarchy of
houses.
Historical houses.
Yeah, and I watched that show Downton Abbey, and and that thing, the Abbey was awesome.
And the show where they eat and they talk and they drink, and then there's a bunch of people working under the house. All the time.
but it gives you like an insight to the working class. And even though they were servants, they were like, I'm a servant, but I'm still better than you, peasant, that just works at a regular job.
Well, yeah, the class system in the UK is like super ingrained into them.
Yeah. I get to work in the big house. That was kind of that. I love the show. It was a great show, and the wit and the banter and all the little tricks they'd play on each other. It was great, But so the Trent Park house dates back to the 14th century. It was part of Enfield Chase, one of Henry IV's hunting grounds. In 1777, George III leased the site to Sir Richard Jebb, his favorite doctor, as a reward for saving the life of the king's younger brother, then Duke of Gloucester, Jebb.
That's a very nice gesture. Like, oh, you saved
saved
the relative. Here, have a huge house.
No, but he leased it to him.
Oh, leased.
I'm going to let you rent this house from me,
Still a privilege.
Still a privilege, right? I started thinking about that when I was reading. I was like, "Oh, I get the honor of renting the house from you. Thanks." Right?
Dude, it's a level 2.
It's a level 2. You can't beat it, you know. Man, I was in the shithole. It was a level 3. It only had 18 bedrooms. I think it was terrible. You know, this is a level 2, 25 bedrooms. Yeah, moving up. You know, they get the moving on up. You know,
Dude, so many bedrooms.
Yeah. I don't. You hide from your wife,
Or she hides from you.
yeah, or she hides from you. So in 1836, the house was bought by banker David Bevan for his son Robert Cooper Lee Bevan on his marriage to Lady Agenta York. Robert Bevan built Christ Church, Trent in 1838 to provide a suitable place of worship for the district. In 1909, the estate was sold to Sir Edward Sassoon. Now, what I learned from Downton Abbey is that the whole community would survive based on catering to the houses.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that they had an obligation to provide employment, and they generated expenses. So it was a big deal. So, Sassoon inherited the estate in 1912, and he got to entertain a lot of notable people like Charlie Chaplin and Winston Churchill.
Cool.
So it was kind of a big deal, right? But the whole point of this episode isn't just talking about one of the big English houses, which there's a ton of them, or talking about what it means. It's what happened in 1939, right? 1939, Trent Park was the chief project of Thomas Kendrick. Thomas Kendrick. I'll read you about Thomas Joseph Kendrick. He was born in 1881, died in 1972. He was a British intelligence agent.
Oh, okay.
Operating under the code name Colonel Wallace. Right? So he was born in Cape Town, South Africa, and he fought in the Second Boer War, going on to serve in the field intelligence as a field intelligence officer for the First World War. From December 1925 to 1938, he was based in the British consulate in Vienna as a station chief of Europe for the Secret Intelligence Service, the SIS, also known as MI6. Its agents were given cover stories as employees of the consulate's passport office in Austria.
So he was like a real life James Bond.
He was a spy, yeah. And well, he was more of a CIA type agent, right?
Cool.
But he was he did have a secret identity, But he was considered like the Schindler of Vienna.
Oh, okay.
Because in 1939, the Nazis were starting to kind of make a big mess, and they're starting to run Jews off. So this
that
guy,
whole thing.
Yeah, that whole thing. So what, and getting back to his project. So this is what he did with the Trent Park house. In 1939, he was named head of an M-room unit.
Okay.
The M-room stands for mic'd.
Oh, okay.
So what this guy did, and this was very clever, they got this house in 1939, which was way before World War I officially started, World War II officially started,
yeah.
with, England necessarily. They took this big house and they hid mics everywhere, in the walls,
cool,
in the bathrooms, right? Like in the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, everywhere they could find a place to hide a mic, they hid a mic. And then they used it as a prison.
Oh, shit. All right.
And only like the most elite, highest officers of the Nazi regime that were captured were sent there.
Yeah, and then they could hear everything
they could hear everything they said, right? And then they didn't even put bars on the windows. They didn't put bars. They gave them pool tables, ping pong tables. They paid them £1 for every week they were there.
Damn,
they
sounds like Google.
They fed them. They gave them free reign. They let them be on the grounds. They let them hang out. There was mics everywhere. And these guys, it was overheard that they were bragging about how they hit the jackpot.
Right.
I'm in prison. Nobody knows. I mean, it's like, this is like Club Med. And we're playing tennis outside. It's great, And the thing about it is, they're German officers. So they're talking about intelligence stuff amongst themselves in German,
Right.
right? And everybody working there is English, so they feel pretty safe. So what they do, they had a bunch of guys in the basement that were like sworn to secrecy, right? And their job was to listen. Turns out it was a lot of the Jews that came out of Vienna that were German, that spoke German, that worked now for MI6 in the basement.
Damn, that is really, really clever.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're listening, and there's a book, it's called The Walls Have Ears.
Okay.
Right? And it talks about all the intelligence that they were able to gather. They talked about how certain weapons were manufactured. They talked about certain plans. They talked about how they enjoyed their job at the the concentration camps.
Oh, I really like it when I just make people miserable.
They were talking about how there was one, and I may have I pretty much lost my place at this point because we started just talking about it and I stopped reading it. But they were talking about how, but two of the officers were talking about how, hey, well, you could have come and got photos of us shooting them. We do it usually in the mornings. I think there's still some left. If you want to come, check it out.
All right. Yeah, bring your camera, dude.
Bring your camera, dude. We're gonna do it in the morning.
We're gonna make it a photo op.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you didn't get the picture? Don't worry, I have way more people that I can shoot at.
Yeah. So
God damn, that's horrible.
Right. So now you have fellow Germans and that escaped that are now helping MI6 or SIS, because I don't think MI6 existed in World War II.
I'm not really sure, but I mean, it is kind of ironic that they hit him in a basement again.
At least it wasn't an attic,
But now now that we're getting revenge. So.
Now they were getting revenge, and they were very good at what they did. And let's see, Trent Park was home to 59 German generals during World War II.
Damn.
Right. The M-Room operations were significant. They were as significant as the code-breaking work done at Bletchley Park. British intelligence got some of the best conversations. Churchill actually said Trent Park afforded a unique insight into the psyche of the enemy and enabled us to understand the mindset of the enemy, as well as learn military secrets. So, and I had it down here in the notes. This was one of three locations.
So there was more than one.
Yeah.
So like they mic'd up a house and they're like, oh, you know what? This works. Let's do it again.
They had three: Latimer House near Amersham, Wilton Park near Beaconsfield, both in Buckinghamshire, and Trent Park near Cockfosters. Now, I'm mispronouncing everything because I went to London and I was like, can you get us to Chiswick? And they're like, it's Chiswick. So I know I'm messing everything up. But some of these places had captured U-boat people.
Okay.
Other places had captured pilots.
Right. Okay, cool.
And this place had captured generals. So what would happen if the generals started to kind of clam up and not talk? They had paid actors that would go in and act as prisoners and start up conversations and gain their trust and get them to start talking about stuff. Right?
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
No, it's insane. It's like, it's very clever that they did it in 1939 when the war really hadn't, I don't think the war broke out till like 1941 with, maybe that was us. No, like 41.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not good.
You're not
dates.
a history buff, yeah.
Nah, I rarely ever remember the exact dates when something happens.
Yeah. So they had a house. They kept switching these guys around, and then they had paid actors to come in there and kind of stir the pot and get things going again. And these guys loved it, and thanks to that, we won the war.
And then Watergate happened.
Watergate happens. That was like 30 years later.
Well, yeah, but that was like more like self-incriminating then.
Yeah. So we see nowadays, I think it became like several universities. It's actually
I think nowadays, if you wanted to like gather the same intel.
You just look at their Facebook.
Yeah, you just give them a cell phone with unlimited internet access,
Yeah.
and they make a secret Facebook group.
Yeah, and they're on Snap. You know, you have generals with filters on their face.
Yeah, they're live tweeting their massacres.
They're like, "Oh, just shot 10 more." LOL. Good tweet. Good tweet. You know?
Throwback Thursday
Throwback Thursday.
to the Thursday where I killed 3 people.
Yeah,
It was a good morning.
it was terrible. We're joking about it, but it's only been like 60 years. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
I
Longer
mean-
than that, right? It's been 80 years.
It's been, I think, I don't know if it's enough time,
I don't know if it's enough time, but
I think we're, distanced enough.
we can joke about it. But that was the thing. That's the beauty of this Trent Park house. So
Pretty cool.
I thought that was the shit when I read it, and I thought, man, I want to share this.
I mean,
with
just the size of the equipment. And
Could you imagine how to hide it? Like I was thinking,
because the mics are not that big, but the equipment, and you had to use like if they were recording, not just monitoring. You had to use real.
and they logged all this stuff down.
Yeah, because you have tapes. It's not like it's digital. It's not like you can just place a small recorder and be done with it.
Having a mic inside of a wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these walls are sheetrock. That's pretty modern technology. In 1940, it would have been plaster,
Yeah.
and then hiding it in a way that nobody ever sees it. That's pretty amazing, especially when the mics were about this big.
Yeah. Well, hey, that plant looks weird.
Yeah, it's a mic with leaves. You know? like the cell phone towers now.
Yeah.
Have you seen them? Now they got like leaves. They look like pine trees. That was the mic. Now, this lamp is weird. Yeah, but that pretty much.
Why are you watering that piece of metal?
Yeah, it's all but and that was this episode of the shit. Thank you guys for joining us.
Awesome.
Where can people find you?
Over there, usually.
Yeah, right across Studio
Right across.
A. Yeah,
You can find me wherever as Ningun Eduardo. It's Ningun Eduardo, and you can just see what I post and everything else I do.
Everything else is connected to that. And you can find me as Tu Amigo Sam on my Instagram, Facebook, all social media, as well as my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. I'm making a mental note of remembering that because it's like, I forgot, But like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. It makes me look like you guys care. You don't have to watch. But thank you guys, everybody that has liked and subscribed. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, say hello. Make some good comments.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.